Hey, what's up guys, it's Offbeat here and welcome back to episode 2 of Talking Shop, where I speak to creative people and find out how they manage to turn their passion into a living. This week I'm joined by DJ, producer and Ragtime Records label founder Cat in the Hat, and we cover all sorts of really interesting topics, but particularly focusing on the record label and the inner workings of that. So if you're an artist looking to get signed or you want to start a label of your own, this one's definitely for you. As always, this video is just a highlight, so if you want to hear the whole interview, it's over an hour long and you can check it out on my website, iamoffbeat.com/talking shop. So I hope you guys enjoy it and let me know what you think in the comments below.
How you doing?
Good. Yeah, good mate, thanks very much.
Good to see you.
You too, man.
Big up.
How's it going?
All right, mate, just recovering from a little session last night, you know how it goes.
Yeah, nice. Well, yeah, cool. Thanks very much for agreeing to do this interview.
It's all good, man, it's all good.
I wanted to pick your brains about a number of things, but first and foremost, I guess for anyone who doesn't know who Cat in the Hat is, can you give us a little introduction, a little bit of background?
All right, my slogan is swing with the big bass sound, so I guess my previous alias I was making dubstep.
Okay.
And obviously got into electro swing, thought I'd bring the dubstep sound with me, and that's where I got my own little niche really, basically. Swing music, bass music, put them together, that's my thing.
Okay.
But the history of me, I guess, like same as everyone else. Got into music when I was a kid, playing the piano, got on some turntables, got into drum and bass music. Best history from there, really, I guess. So I did drum and bass for a number of years, did my own nightclub event, then decided, I love drum and bass, but I love all kinds of music. So I wanted to mash things up, so me and Carl, we used to do like mash-up events.
Yeah.
And like we'd be like, not many people doing it, but we'd mix up the drum and bass with a lot of other different genres of music.
Okay.
So I was playing mashup for a while, and then electro swing came along, and electro swing's like one of the things for me that I love about it is that it's not constricted to one genre. You know, you've got house, you've got dubstep, drum and bass, breaks, whatever, man. Like any genre of music mixed with vintage samples or swing beat. And it goes well together. So for me, it was like a perfect like thing to get into that I really enjoy doing, that keeps the mashup vibe going.
Oh, play that thing!
So, as you know, the focus of these interviews for me is kind of like the business side of things and how people have turned their passion into a living. At what point did you realise that you could go full time with the music and make a living out of it?
Well, it was actually before Cat in the Hat.
Okay.
It was when I was Brotherhood of Filth.
Yeah.
I had a good day job and really enjoyed it. It was like I was an events manager, but it was taking up a lot of time. And I was DJing a lot, like every weekend, putting on nights as well. And like every Friday would be like 20-hour day kind of thing, because it was like we were doing nightclub events and I was working. I had a meeting at 8:30 every Friday morning. But it just got to a point where I was like, you know what, like I just want to do what I want to do, and I don't want to be restricted. Like doing the DJing and doing the day job meant I had no time for girlfriends, I had no time for doing sports, no time for any hobbies, you know what I mean? No time for writing music at that point, really, just DJing, because writing music takes a lot of time up. And just quit the job. I thought, you know, just cold turkey the job. And that's when I started doing a bit of the promo work. And I was like, the great thing about that is you can do it part-time, you can fit it around the music. And it's not so much of a problem then. And so I did a lot of that, and then as time went on, I did less and less of that.
Out of all the various different sources of income that you make from music, do you know roughly what the split is between like gigs and money that you make off tracks and other stuff?
Okay, for me, I mean, it's obviously different for everyone, but for me, it's majority gigs.
Yeah.
Always has been. Can't say it always will be, but yeah, gigs is the majority. Label-wise, tend to put all the money from the label back into the label, so that we've got money there. Production-wise, like the money's not huge. It's not huge, but then that allows you to get the gigs and everything else like that. I've had some commissioned music over the last year, which is pretty good because it's instant money. They pay you to write the music.
Yeah.
It's not ghostwriting or nothing. I ain't a ghostwriter. It's been like writing music for bands to play along with,
Okay.
doing remixes for live events, stuff like that.
So we mentioned briefly about the label just then. That's something that I really want to focus on in this conversation because it's fascinating and like
Ragtime Records, yeah.
Ragtime Records, big up. So first of all, when did that start? When did you first come up with Ragtime Records?
2012, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2012, I think that was the year. Originally, we wanted a platform to release Electric Swing Circus, Peleus Optimist, and remixes. And we were going to go to another label, and we had a meeting with them, and they just didn't seem to be giving us the deal we wanted and putting enough time into it that we wanted, and we just felt that we were getting a bit of a bum deal. And I'd already been chatting to a few other people, a few mates of mine, and I've got a few mates that run labels anyway. And I knew it was going to take a lot of time to run a label, but we just thought, fuck it, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's just do it. Let's do it. You know, we're in full control that way.
For people that maybe don't know what's involved in running a label, what is the
Okay, so when you start out, it's pretty much everything. So, and there's a lot more than you think it is. Obviously, there's the finding new music, making sure it's if music's come to you that you like, making sure that it's good to go out. So, kind of working with artists without insulting them, but telling them what could do with being improved, so that it's good for release. That's a whole thing in itself. Then you've got promotion, obviously. And one of the big things is actually accounts.
Okay.
It's not easy to do accounting if you're not an accountant.
Yeah.
And the more artists you have on your label,
Yeah.
it takes up a lot of time.
Yeah.
And naming no names, I'm not talking about the electro swing scene. There's a lot of agencies, labels out there that don't pay their artists, or don't do it properly. Mess things up all the time. Because accountancy ain't easy. That's the thing. It's boring. Obviously, you've got other things like artwork as well. Are you any good at artwork? You can do it yourself. You're going to pay someone else to do it. Obviously, there's more money involved in that, etc., etc., etc. And even just like online promo can take a lot of your time up. Do you know what I mean? So, and it's how you're going to do it.
Yeah.
What's your key angle?
Yeah. Obviously, I've not released anything through a label yet. I've done everything independently, and that's got its pros and its cons, I guess. The pros being that I'm totally in control of everything I do. I've got no one telling me to change things. That can be a good and bad thing, though. But probably the thing I found the hardest is the promo side of it. Like, if you don't have the right relationships with like influential people, then you can have the greatest song in the world, but if no one hears it, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
So
sorry,
well, no. So I was just going to say, like, or ask, when you talk about promo on and offline for like a track that you're releasing through the label, what does that involve for you?
I think, as you said, like knowing the right influential people is a really important thing. Like for yourself, obviously, like getting involved with Funky Panda, the guy's got a ton of followers. That was a really good thing to do. It's very hard if you're not doing it for a label to get your stuff noticed. Being
a label, then, if you're the person that people come to because you've got the connections, is that going to be like traditional stuff like magazines and things like that, or is it like blogs, or is it getting it on big YouTube channels like Funky Panda? Like, what promo does that involve as a label?
We just, we send the tunes out to a load of DJs, the right DJs, and send it to a bunch of blogs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, do blogs even still happen like they used to? I mean, obviously that was a thing like 5 years ago. It was a big thing. No, I mean, YouTube channels are obviously pretty big. That's a good one as well.
So getting it to the right DJs is a really important part of it for you. Is that?
I think that's definitely helpful.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, electro swing ain't that massive, but I think in certain circles, like if you can get it to the right DJs. I mean, for example, if you're doing drum and bass, you want to get it on Radio 1. Obviously, there isn't really a electro swing show for Radio 1 or whatever.
Yeah.
But if there was, then that will be the person that we would be aiming at, really.
When you talk about DJs, like in my head, immediately I'm thinking, oh, okay, they're going to play it at like a festival or something and get loads of people dancing to it. But do you mean people who are going to play it on radio shows, for example, or on, I don't know, include it in mixes that they might put up on SoundCloud?
That's
and stuff
a good
like
one.
that?
That's a good one as well. Yeah. If you can get people including it in the mixes, it's the same as YouTube, really. It's just more promotion for the artist.
Yeah.
Even if it's not for the label, as long as it gets the artist more interest, then it's good for the label at the end of the day, isn't it?
So do you like sign individual tracks then? Because I think there is a perception. No. Okay.
We because once again of the amount of time it takes to do the label, I won't sign individual tracks. We'll only do EPs or remixes. So we pretty much focus on EPs for individual artists or like remix EPs. So it'll be like a band and it'll be remixed by a number of people.
Yeah.
If you're going to put that amount of time and effort into promotion, I feel like it's great to get an EP out there.
Definitely.
But anyway, and a lot of people don't know what the EP stands for. Extended play. It's bigger than a single, smaller than an album. So like, 4 tracks, 5 tracks, whatever, something like that. I've turned down loads of really good tunes because it's only 1 track, and it's probably stupid of me. I probably should have done a compilation, and maybe I will in the future. But I prefer. Once again, going back to the account side of things, because I like to do things properly and pay artists, I don't want to have too many people on our books.
You mentioned right at the beginning about one of the parts of the job is finding new talent and people to work with. Like, what do you look for in an artist that you would release something of? What are the main things?
Tunes that fucking bang, man. Yeah.
So it's not about necessarily how much of a following they've already got or anything like that. You're not interested from that point of view. It's purely
not at all. I mean, when we did the remix competition, it would be quite easy to go with people that have got a bigger following. But for example, Simon, one of the guys that won the Bella Bell competition, he didn't even have a YouTube channel. I don't think he even had a Facebook. You know what I mean? But we really like the tune, so. I think that's more important at the end of the day. I mean, obviously it's great if they do, but I think it's all about the music at the end of the day. I think that's the important thing. If they've got a following but you don't dig the tunes, then
no, it's really reassuring to hear that though, and especially for smaller artists and people who are watching that that there are labels out there, because I do think that there is this. I've certainly, it's not until I've learned more about it and sort of discovered smaller independent labels and chatted to people that I've seen labels as like a force for good, because in the past it's always just been like the artists have signed to majors and then become shit.
Yeah, and you always hear these stories of whatever artists that are poor and destitute and they've made some of the biggest tunes you've ever heard in your life. Yeah. And they've been taken for a run and just haven't earned any money from it. I think that's way above me. That's major label territory.
Cool. So we've talked about Ragtime. I wanted to chat to you about Swingamajig as well.
All right.
So can you explain what that is for people who aren't familiar with Swingamajig?
Okay, so it's like a one-day street party nightclub like mini festival where we just showcase loads of wicked music based around vintage electro swing and gypsy swing, well, gypsy mayhem as you may want to call it.
Right.
Depending on which artist you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's quite broad musically, and it's not limited to just that. We love the mashup as well, and we just love a good party, and you know it's a good vibe to the parties. We've been doing it for 4 years now. Yeah, it's all about having a lot of fun. We don't just want to book the big name artists that are just going to pull people. We want to get a lot of people in from the scene. You'll notice if you look at the lineups, there's always a lot of acts that don't have a lot of followers as well, that are great music, because we want to share that music with other people that they might not have heard before as well. It's all about getting the community involved in that respect. You know, you could just book Power of Stella, you could just book Caravan Palace and fill it up, but it's not necessarily it's not about that necessarily. You know what I mean? It's I tend to find a lot of the people there are people that are really into the scene, are really into the music. They see beyond just the big names, and it still works. Do you know what I mean? Like people come from all over the country, people come from abroad to the event. Yeah, it's great.
I don't know how much you know about like my music so far. Like we've obviously met a few times and chatted and like get on pretty well, but like I don't know how much you know about my actual tunes and stuff. But if you could give me one bit of advice on how to kind of like progress what I'm doing, what tip would you give me?
Well, I have listened to your stuff. You've got a very unique voice, which is great. So it's something that people can latch onto and recognise you, because a lot of people sound the same. You don't. You've got an individual voice, which is really cool. What I would say is work with more people, do some collabs, branch out, do some different stuff. So you get your voice on. You know, get some remixes done as well. So you know, where it'll be samples of you on a completely different track, pretty much. You know, that would be really cool. And then you got opening up a whole new world of different people playing your stuff. You know. Yeah,
nice one. All right, then we'll wrap it up here. So, first of all, where can people find out more about you, Cat in the Hat, and Ragtime Records?
Cat in the Hat. And this is one of the reasons why I chose the name. Just search for Cat in the Hat. C @ in the H @. Yeah, simple as that.
And what are the best platforms to look for you on? SoundCloud, Facebook, Twitter?
Yeah, SoundCloud and Facebook. I sometimes forget about Twitter.
Yeah, I'm not a huge Twitter user.
I only joined it last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think last year, maybe this year. No, last year. But I sometimes forget about it.
Cool.
SoundCloud and Facebook are the two main ones, really.
So lastly, any shout-outs, any plugs, anyone you want to big up?
Okay, so firstly, every time, Tom, Electric Swing Circus, he's the man. Secondly, I mean, there's too many people to big up that I'd want to big up, so I'm not going to. Basically, anyone that is giving me support as a fan, I absolutely love that shit. You come up to me at an event, tell me you love the music. I get so many people saying that they're the reason that I'm the reason that they got into whatever they're doing. Get messages saying that. That's the thing that keeps me going. Keep doing that. I love that. Peace out. Thank you.
Nice one. Sound. All right, mate. We'll call it a day there, man. Thank you very much.
Good to see you.
Yeah, you too, man. Nice one. And I'm sure we'll catch you at a show soon.
Yes, bro.
Big up. Nice one. So that was episode 2 of Talking Shop with Cat in the Hat. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below, and make sure you follow Cat in the Hat and Ragtime Records on Facebook and SoundCloud. I'll be back with another episode soon, and I'll catch you then. Cheers.
Whip.